So hello and welcome to day, what is this, 5, 6? It's one of those days. Day whatever of Vlogmas. I hope everybody is having a good Vlogmas. I'm having a now very tiring Vlogmas where my hopes were dashed this morning of making it to town because I woke up, and if you've been watching my Vlogmas videos, you'll know yesterday was spent in shoveling my far too long for its own good driveway, and today was just a repeat of yesterday. We woke up and there was probably the same amount of snow as yesterday, so about another 4 inches, and it's still coming down. Thankfully slower. We got the driveway all cleared off. It's not supposed to snow tomorrow. Knock on wood, cross my fingers, all of those things. But hopefully I can make it to town tomorrow because I want to get stuff. I mean, I need some people stuff. I need to pick up water, which I'm so glad that we have a really good spring in town. It's probably the main reason that I drive into town about once a week. I mean, I can put it off for about 2 weeks. I just save and reuse water jugs, and it's a big help. The spring in town is really good. It's tested periodically to make sure that there's nothing icky in it, and it beats the water in the cabin. I love this place. I really do. It is possibly my favorite place I've ever lived, but the water's garbage. The water, if it's not literal garbage, it's perfectly drinkable. It just tastes like garbage. It's got a lot of iron and a lot of sulfur, and it turns anything that you wash in it that used to be white into this lovely yellowish color, unless you use a lot of white out or rust out. But I guess that's really the only drawback. But it's okay. I didn't have to buy some big, huge, expensive water filtration system, which is what some people on the lake actually do. They buy a better water filter than I have. But I don't have to do that because there is a publicly accessible spring that is really good water. I do run it through my Brita filter. I probably don't need to. I know lots of people that just drink it straight from the spring and they're fine, but I'm a little bit paranoid about that. But that's the main reason that I go into town. I try to go in once a week. I mean, food-wise, we could hold out longer than a week. I've got a fairly well-stocked pantry, but yeah, I need to go get water. And I really want to get some more crafting supplies. My big outdoor piece of decor, which I have almost everything I need for. I don't have exactly everything I need though, because I realized I need something to make a hat. And I just didn't really have anything that I think is hat worthy among my scraps and stuff. So no craft tonight, although I am going to share my very favorite recipe, and then we're going to come back here and we are going to look at old Christmas pictures, because I was looking through old photo albums, and yeah, I figured I'd share some pictures with you. These are Christmases that I don't really remember because they are all 1976 and before. And in 1976, I was a whole whopping 4. So I don't actually have any memories, but the pictures made me smile. But we're going to go into the kitchen, my terribly messy kitchen. And this is not a recipe per se. This is just one of the things that I do every Christmas. I've been doing it since I was a teenager. And I hope I never get diabetes, because if I ever get diabetes, I'm going to be up the creek, because my very favorite Christmas drink is candy cane tea. So We'll go make a cup of that, then we'll come back and look at pictures. So, not gonna lie, this might be the easiest recipe ever. And we're gonna put the word recipe in some heavy air quotes because it's not a recipe, it's just something I enjoy. All you need is a candy cane, unwrapped. Please don't put a wrapped candy cane into boiling water. That would not work well. And your favorite black tea. I mean, you can do loose leaf tea if you're real fancy. I just have Lipton tea bags. And you just put the candy cane in tea and let it melt. And this is not some high fancy anything. This is just delicious. And once my water boils, which I can hear the kettle doing its thing, so any minute now I will have hot tea water. I am going to pour my hot water into my tea. You can add sugar to this, although that would just be a diabetic bomb if you're diabetic. Thankfully, I'm not. Knock on more wood there. But it's just, it's a candy cane in a cup. It's delicious. I recommend everybody try it if you can. And yeah, once this is done brewing, we're gonna sit back down and we're gonna look at some pictures. All right. Tea is ready. And the minute the candy cane goes into the hot liquid, it instantly breaks and melts and does all sorts of other things. And that is probably a very bad place to leave my hot teacup, but yeah, I think we'll put it right over here by Santa because unfortunately it's a little bit too hot to drink. I love tea. I don't drink it nearly as often as I drink coffee and hot cocoa, but to me, Christmas time is not going to be Christmas time unless I have some peppermint tea. And by peppermint tea, I mean candy cane tea. I like mint teas. They're good, but they're not candy canes. And I've tried doing the candy cane tea with the little starlight mints that you can buy. Not the same. I don't know what is different about a candy cane, but something in a candy cane just hits different. Maybe it's psychosomatic. It's entirely possible that it is, but I don't know. It just hits different. So yeah, anyway, pictures. Hopefully these are going to actually be able to be seen because I don't know how other YouTubers get pictures to like show up. You know, old pictures. I think maybe they have scanners, which I don't. The first thing I thought I would share with you because I think it's kind of charming is a picture of the cabin that I currently live in way back in 1976. This says it was November of 1976, which probably meant it was when my dad was up here deer hunting. And there was no deck then. My dad built the deck. And so you can just kind of see it looks a little bit different. But also lots and lots of snow, which is not surprising because this is the UP. Other than the fact that there is now a deck in front, there's not much that's really changed. A few of the trees are gone, some of the trees are bigger, but this is a pretty changeless place. And I think that's why I like it so much. But now we're going to go way back in time. This is the oldest picture that I found of anything Christmassy. And it was from Christmas 1972. So I was like 3 months old. But the back of the picture says, after Santa, but before the kids. And that picture was taken in the living room where I grew up. I think this was before my dad made the upstairs, which is where my bedroom ended up being, because I think I was probably 3 or 4 when they made that. Although I don't know. But yeah, it's a very, the tree decoration is exactly the way I remember every tree we ever had, which basically just meant that it was completely coated in so much tinsel that you couldn't even see the tree most of the time. But memories. And like I said, I don't actually have much memory of this, but it's there. Also, in case my brother ever watches this, yes, I'm putting pictures that have you in them in this video, but you know, considering you were like maybe 6, I don't think you look anything alike. But yeah, this is a picture of me and my brother, and evidently I got a pony music box. This was in 1973 when I was a whole whopping 1. I'm the little blonde. My brother is the bigger one, obviously. And I like the fact that it says that I was either looking at my pony music box or loving my pony music box. I'm not really sure. Handwriting is hard. But yeah, I used to be a very blonde. And then this one, I've seen this picture so many times. I wish I had memories of it because it's kind of cute. It's that same Christmas. Evidently, I got a chicken, or maybe that's a duck. Also, check out that TV back there. That's insane. Can you imagine that that is like what we used to always watch everything on, is TVs like that? Also, I can almost see whatever was on the TV better in the camera than I can in the actual picture. That's weird. But yeah, there's another picture of me on that chicken somewhere, but I couldn't find it. And then just 2 years later, 1975, is a picture again before everyone gets to the presents. I'm assuming my mom liked to take pictures of the piles before we got to them. And this is the ultimate 70s Christmas tree with enough tinsel to break 12 people on it. Can I get that close enough for you guys to see? These pictures are so old. It's kind of sad. Some of the really old pictures that I found were really starting to fade even more, and that's just depressing. And then this is a cool picture because this is at my grandparents' house with me and my brother, and looks like one of my cousins and grandma and grandpa's tree and the ginormous pile of presents, because that was a Christmas Eve. And like I told you guys before, Christmas Eve for us, at least until I was probably 9 or 10, everybody bought everybody presents. And there were 8 kids in my dad's family, and almost all of them had kids. So there were just cousins everywhere and these giant pile of presents. I do remember that. Also, oh my gosh, the fashion choices that we were stuck with back then, kind of crazy. All right, another picture. This one is again at the house that I grew up in, I think. Definitely was. I don't remember a fake brick wall, but then again, that might have just been something my mom put up, or maybe it was a Christmas wrapping paper. This tree, I'm a little disappointed in. I'm not seeing any tinsel coating the tree. That's a little bit sad, but that was 1976, which is the last year we're going to look at. And because I found some of them in the basement, this is my brother and my arm, and he was unwrapping at least some of the trains that we found downstairs. So I'm going to need to contact my brother and find out if he wants his trains back, because I found them. So I will definitely have to do that. And I'm not exactly sure what I'm holding up here, but evidently I got something that almost looks like Chutes and Ladders, the game, but I can't really tell. But there's me in front of our fireplace before my parents covered it up. It's funny, I remember when I was a little kid having fires in the fireplace, gorgeous fireplace. The house I grew up in was kind of neat in that it was built back in like the 20s or 30s. And so it had really cool features like a big fireplace. The mantle, the windowsills were all marble, which is crazy to me. Can you imagine what you would pay for marble these days? But it was just a lot of the houses on our block, even though we were not a rich neighborhood, had a lot of touches that you think of as like rich now. We definitely weren't rich. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich. But yeah, my parents, I think in probably 77 or 78, so not very long after this picture, they covered over the fireplace and insulated it because times were tight and my dad was not going to let any of his heating dollars go up the chimney. I remember that. And it was probably not until a couple years before I graduated high school that got uncovered and became a fireplace again. So for most of my life, I remember that fireplace as being covered over with some sort of insulation, and then on the front of it was a chalkboard. So we could at least draw on it, but fireplaces are cooler. Anyway, hopefully it's touchable. Oh yeah, candy cane in a cup. My favorite thing. Now you do have to keep stirring it because you'll have little pieces of candy cane on the spoon. And you know, you want all your candy cane to be completely dissolved in the hot liquid. Anyway, thank you for indulging me yet again as I trip down memory lane. Cross your fingers that I can make it to town tomorrow so that we can continue doing some of the other crafting ideas that I keep having. That, of course, once I have them, I'm like, maybe I should pick up this or that. And I will see you tomorrow.